Good morning. It's Saturday, and we are live at another Chillout stream. I quite enjoyed doing this last time. Go over sort of one of the replays that I have, and see how we got on and whatnot. And this time we've got well, quite a good race from the Radicals from last night, and gonna sort of skip through that. And if we get time, we might even have a look at the IMSA race, which has a little bit to IMSA. It's a multi-class race, gets quite frantic, but we'll see. We'll see how we get on. So I'm just gonna launch the Radical replay, uh, and we'll go through it. It was a race along with my good friend Harry, who was on the grid as well with me. We were hoping to get a nice sort of, well, not competitive racing, but it's at Spa, so there's a lot of long straights. Radicals, you get a lot of effect from the toe, so the slipstream, um, where the car in front punches a hole in the air and you get up behind it and you sort of get sucked along, as it were. You go faster. It's great. It's really good fun and it's very tactical. Um, nice cup of tea. Um, the the tricky thing, as you'll see in as this race progresses, is when you're the guy, when you're the guy in front, it doesn't work out to your advantage, and you've got to think about how you're going to approach that. You've got to think about how you're going to defend going into the next set of corners, and how that's going to play out. I actually do some fairly impressive overtaking in this race, some of which was actually intentional. There was one unintentional overtake, which I'll show you through at one point. But yeah, it was a good fun race. Right, we are actually in game now. Excellent, excellent. Right, um, so let's just pause it. Let's get it to the start. I need to run trading paint so you see my paint scheme. That'll be a good start. Um, So, uh, gotta wait for all the paints to load in. You'll start to see all the cars go white and then change. See, that one's changing at the back. Every so often, one at the front's changed. Tradingpaints.com. Go there if you got iRacing. If you don't have it already, select a custom livery for your car and slap it on your vehicle. It's great. It's free sign up. It's free service. Just yeah, get on and do it. We have that wonderful thing where we drop frames. Let's click on that notification and then go, oh yeah, stream, stream, stream. And then it goes, oh yeah, stream quality is good. Thanks. I wonder if it's compression or something. Anyway, seems to be back up and running again. Yay, frames. Um, Before we get going, I got a nice little gift for myself. Ordered it about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and it finally arrived. Some new racing gloves. Some new racing gloves. People are asking why am I using gloves? And I would ask them, why would you want to get your 1.5 grand wheel mucky and sweaty? And also, why would you want to potentially hurt yourself on the thing? Because the torque demand that comes through Fanatec wheelbases, uh, it's big. It's incredible. You know, you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful. So yeah, just got to be safe. I'm just going to rearrange my windows a little bit so I can have one up there, one up there. No, that needs to come down here. Ah, that's the one I wanted. There we go. Move that across. There we go. And then my stream's gone all like, really weird. Sorry, just juggling windows. There you go. I can see chat now. I don't know what I've done with Stream OBS. Maybe somebody can help me. But whenever I click live now, it just goes live. It doesn't give me like the pop-up option to show um, what I want the description to be and all that kind of stuff. It just pops up, which is not great. I'm just going to try and change the settings just to see if I can change the video encoding. No, not whilst I'm live. Okay, well, we'll just have to live with it. Gloves, they're great. They're really grippy. There's no way that my hands are going to slip in these things. These are actually karting gloves, so if I ever go karting, I'll be using these. They're very comfortable, really easy to fit on, and they're an incredible fit. This is something that my friend Paddy he got some IMB racewear gloves, and they are custom made, and yet his his gloves didn't come in the right size. So yeah, these ones are absolutely bob on. They're just the standard size. It does remind me how small my hands are. There we go. And the other thing, which is an extravagance, you don't need these, but I have matching boots, which again are very obviously orange. I'm supporting McLaren this year, I think. Important though, nice, really flat sole, very thin, flat sole, very flexible. That there is great on the pedal, so it gives you a good feel. It's not important. You can just wear socks. Yeah, whatever. I wear these boots. They make me happy. That's all that matters. So, okay, so radicals at Spa. I'm starting 15th. If we change the, there we go. There's me in sort of center frame in the black radical car. In front of me is a really stupid pink and green car, and then in front of that is Harry, the Harry Meister, in I think it's like a Mountain Dew livery. I think it is. Yeah, it's a Mountain Dew livery. Okay, so we're gonna get cracking, and we're gonna see what happens. So Harry gets the falling start. I end up getting alongside him. Now the funny thing about this is, I actually told Harry how to bloody well start a radical race. He didn't listen. Coming out to Rouge, first lap, I have a little bit of a lift, which there's a guy dying in the back. Oh, do you know what? Let's go have a look. Let's go see what this guy did. Where is he? Do you reckon this is the guy? Let's have a look at the chase cam. No, he causes a massive pileup, doesn't he? Oh no, that is the guy in last. Well, this guy's just losing it. Right, let's rewind a little bit. Oh, no, maybe it's not viewable. Oh no, there's a guy. Here's a guy. Here's a guy. Right, so what's going to happen here? Well, let's go on board with him because it's first lap. First lap, your tyres are going to be freezing. There you go. It was as simple as that. Just lost it. He just lost it. Touched the curbs. Lap one. You've got to be very, very, very cautious. So back to me. Let's go back to TV Mix. So this is practically the theme of the race, side-by-side racing down the straight. If you ever go to Spa, that's a great place to sit. Onto the inside, and then here we go, just the overtake around the outside. Because if you're on the outside of that corner, you're going to get the inside to the last right. That's it. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of skip frames. Yeah, I should just keep the stream quality thing open because whenever I have that open, the stream goes back to normal. It's like it's priority. If anybody with any advice, shout. So here we go. So side by side racing. very close. I think we have a little touch there. I think it's good. No damage. These things are fragile though. I mean, they're made out of like polystyrene. I swear. I love this. The T-cam here. It's great. Gives you an idea as to what we see on board. So this is now coming to the bus stop. The guys behind me go a bit wide, which saved my arms because they would have been out probably at the braking zones. That guy nearly wipes everybody out. And we're on to lap 2. Can you believe it? Lap 2. So here we go. Again, coming up to the source. Now we've actually broken the toe behind. They're about a second and a half behind. And Harry now gets to the front. Now that's unfortunate for him. We were hoping to do a bit of teamwork here and actually have him drag them off by me and me drag them off by him. So like, keep going. Now I get quite a co-ground moment in rally on. Over the curves. It's blind, you don't know where it is, you've got a point. I hope you're in the right direction. It's one of those great corners. This sequence of corners, nice classic sort of three-corner chicanes. Easy to get very wrong. As we'll see some people in the race. You already saw me, so you can get around the outside of that one. Left-hander, corner with no neck. Important to get a good exit out of there. It's down to rally on this great corner. You just lift, slightly brake maybe. Try and drift it all the way to the outside curve. I mean, with still cold tyres, you can take it easy, but it's practical for that. Very fast right left here, third gear. Try and take late apexes on both. And then it's quite a slow third gear. This corner, then you're trying to get the throttle as soon as you can because it's flat from here on. So you want to be in the slipstream. That's kind of key as well. You see, I've had a little bit of a tap from behind to bend my diffuser. It doesn't actually cause much issues. Too wide going to the bus stop and the locker behind. Now Harry's got back in front, did a nice dive into the bus stop, but he's still too far behind. Now somebody went wide at the source and I Repsol guy, and I could have kept my foot in. I would be literally on top of it. It's just the sound. I mean, this is it. You've got this is like the sort of noise you get on board. The curving. It's quite loud. So, I'm going to turn that down a bit. Get me into the mix a bit more. You want to hear me a bit more. Right. There we go. So there's just another sneaky overtake. Again, it's about picking your line. How you'd normally take this with corners is you go, right to the apex on the right, and then on the left-hander you tuck in. You tuck in so that you're all the way on the left to take the final right-hander. But people who do that don't realise that if they tuck in when there's somebody behind them, all that person needs to do is squirt the throttle and get alongside, and then they've got the inside for the right-hander, and it's just an easy overtake. So my advice to anybody, if you've got somebody right behind you, don't tuck in. Just keep it, just keep it wide. Prevents them from getting a run on you. It's slower, but you keep your place. And if you can keep yourself at the toe of the car in front, you won't have a problem because you will literally stay, you'll get dragged into the person in front. You see, we're actually dropping a little bit here. We're dropping a little bit. So I'm thinking, oh god, okay, is it just going to be me and this guy for the rest of the race? And then it turns out that I'm way better on the brakes into the bus stop than anybody in front, and I end up catching a huge chunk of time. So again, I think we're on to what lap are we on now? We're on to lap 4 now. Okay, I think this is where it starts to get a bit juicy. Oh, see, go back to the Streamlabs and the best one. That's just weird. Weird. Alright, so coming down the Kemmel Straight, I've got this guy right on my backside. I'm thinking, shall I defend it? I think my answer on this one was no. But he decides not to go for it. And also, you can see I actually pull away in the braking zone, and that's largely because he just brakes so early. It's just ridiculous. But you can see the front pack is now bunched right up, and I think what happened was somebody had got it a bit squirrely in that chicane. Everybody had slowed down. They were going side by side and whatnot. Everybody sorted themselves out, but you can see just how close I've managed to get. I forgot to mention lap 1, my dive into this corner Radion. It was completely unintentional. The guy in front braked a bit too hard, and see, I had a bit of a lock up there. He braked too hard, and I ended up having to just like duck into the inside, and I ended up getting around it. It was great, but yeah. So we've had an off here. So this red car's gone wide. He manages to rejoin safely. Harry cuts all the way over to the inside to avoid him, which was good. And so here I'm trying to go side by side with this guy. It's very difficult. What a camera shot. That's lovely, isn't it? Okay, and then braking into the bus stop. So things are getting a bit tense, and we've had a spinner. Right, so this is the first time it goes a bit wrong for everybody. Right, so we need to just let this run. This is quite an important part of the race. Right. So you can see I flipped somebody. I didn't flip somebody. I mean, I tapped them. I didn't even damage my car. But if we... Oh, I've done it again, haven't I? I've gone forward a lap. Yes, it's the end of this lap. I do this all the time. Press the wrong bloody button. Paddy and Harry, I was showing them the replay last night, and they were just face palm. Right, so if we go forward a few. There you go. So he gets spun round, and I touch him, flip him, and that's pretty bad. Oh, that was Gwendolyn. Okay, right. Interesting. So this is what happened to Harry. So he's turning into this, sees the car flip. He's like, okay, avoiding action. He cuts onto the inside. Now, unfortunately, that gives him a slowdown. So here we go. He's slowing it down to serve the penalty, and then he gets going. So for him, that's a bit of a zero sum. He hasn't really gained or lost anything, but he's actually put himself into a bit of a position where he's just a bit too far, I think. Oh no, he probably pick up slipstream then. But yeah, you can see there's a bit more damage on cars now. A few little bent wings. He's going quite slow. So I think Harry will probably have him down the straight here. And I end up rejoining back in 5th. So for me, I didn't suffer at all. It was all good. So we just go back through the places. So we got Stephen Place, Veli Packer, and me. Now remember those 3 guys, because we basically end up fighting a lot of the race together. Back aboard with myself. Coming down to Radion. It's a fairly sedate sort of race for a few laps, I think. What we'll do is we'll just speed it up a little bit, be like wacky races, and we'll get to a point where we see another incident. But you can see it's pretty close with me and this guy in front. Oh god, I bloody dropped frames and everything. Yeah. So this guy in the red car, I believe is the guy who went off. He was the guy who was off the circuit and rejoined. So you can see, because of all that incident, he got right back up. Now look at that, 3 wide almost. And there's me behind thinking, where do I go? Now this guy is going to try and do the outside move, but it doesn't quite make it round. Now look how close it is. You can see there's Harry in the background just catching up again. So he's managed to overtake the cars that he was racing with, and he's catching back up to the pack. Now I've got this guy in close quarters, giving each other nice space, I think, giving each other room. He's got a very clean car, so he's not made any physical contact with other cars, so always good to know. I mean, you don't really see that when you're on board, but now coming up to the bus stop again. The amount of distance I actually managed to get under the braking, I mean, it's incredible. So let's just fast forward a little bit, see what happens. Yeah, so I'm alongside this guy. Do you know what? That's actually worth watching. So he gets a bad exit from the source. I end up on his side, and this is a good lesson in respecting each other. I mean, I could have just gunned it for where I knew the blind apex was, but I made sure there was enough room. He gets by. I end up slipstreaming, getting on the inside. We're now 3 wide. There's a guy interested in in that red car at the back. It's getting very tight now. I think that yeah, that guy in the red and white car gets by. But it's a zero sum. I've overtaken, and the guy is overtaking me, so it's a zero sum. That was good racing. So we're just coming. Let's just fast forward it a little bit. Right, so here we go. Towards the bus stop, I've got somebody nice and tidy right behind me. There's 3 guys fighting right in front. You know what's going to happen there. You got to sort of judge it. And look! I almost get alongside that guy. That's how much better on the brakes I was into the bus stop. That's one of the sort of key things for me. I mean, I managed to sort of defend from behind. I almost managed to make an overtake, so it's all good. You're always wary of the guy sort of on your right, behind you. Oh look, there's a spin at the back. Paddy's at the back of this pack now. Harry. I always get him wrong. You'll laugh at that. So again, here's a fight in front. What do? You know, which one do you choose to follow? Who's going to brake better? You see, first place is already just scarpered. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. So you try and get yourself alongside in that second corner to get the inside to the right hander, and there you go. You're in. Fast forwarding it a little bit now. So it's going to get interesting in a sec. It's going to get interesting because an incident happens that actually just sort of shakes the whole thing up. And it does actually involve me, crazily enough. Might not be this. In fact, it might be this one. Yep, there we go. So, I don't know if you noticed it, but look at this, massive big pile up. Harry gets spun round, and he actually gets a penalty for that. He has a slowdown, and I think I emerge basically where I was before. So, oh hello. So let's just analyse this, because it's actually pretty obvious what happens. We have to go onto the car behind. I've done it again. I bloody hit the lap thing, not the. Why do we have to make this UI so crummy? Right, let's just fast forward. Stuff. Right. If I go onto this guy, this Repsol guy, we go onto his cockpit. Look at what's going to happen is he's basically going to end up on the curb, and he's going to end up squirreling around and hitting me. There you go. See that? Boom. So approaching it, he gets on the grass here, and that pulls his car around. That surprises him, and then there he taps me. That's literally all it takes. That's literally all it takes. And you go, this is my view. This is my view. Isn't it great? Fantastic. But the best thing for me was I ended up pointing the right way, and then this appears in front of me. There's Harry. He hits somebody. He then gets launched, gets hit from behind. You can see the damage. And then, lo and behold, there's a nice gap that opens up. Beautiful gap that opens up for me. And I get around the outside. This guy's got a lot of damage, so I know he's going to be an easy pass at some point. There's a lot of people with slowdowns to my left. And I basically end up staying in fifth. And then it's just a case of carrying on. So let's just see that once more in real time from my perspective. This is what I'm seeing. Bang. Oh, that's not so bad. Oh, that's a bit bad. There you go. And yeah, craziness, absolute crazy, unbelievable scenes. Right, so back on board with the camera, TV cams. So now you can see that the field is spread out. So whereas before it was nose to tail and everybody was in each other's slipstream, we're now getting to the point in the race where obviously fatigue is now just set in, or damage, or both. And you're going to start to see the distinct groups just sort of separating away from each other. So like I said, this guy was an easy pass. He's got so much damage, his top end speed is going to be rubbish. He still tries to get down the inside. That could have been race ending for me. But there's that little wide line I was talking about. I knew he was behind me, so I didn't tuck in as much in the left-hander. Just kept it out, which is good. So we're now trying to chase down. Oh, there you go. That guy spins. So we're now trying to chase down the two cars in front. These are the two guys I mentioned to you to sort of keep an eye on, because these are the two guys I end up fighting with lap on lap now for quite some time. Let's just whack it into fast forward a little bit. Now, that's right. Oh, I forgot about this. Right, it's probably best on the cockpit view. This didn't help. This guy's obviously had a bit of problem. He's onto the racing line. Wow, I mean, how quick did I have to react? I mean, that is insane. I going around this right-hander, I should say, you are flat. You don't have much. You can't really change your alignment because your car won't have enough grip. and he's literally right on the racing line. That's like the wrong thing to do. You shouldn't be just like trying to get back onto the racing line. You should be building up speed, you know, as you would coming out of a hard shoulder or whatever. You know, you just build up speed and pull onto the carriageway when you're at a decent enough speed. This guy gets the run, and then I end up braking quite late, around the outside, around the inside, and away we go. Quite a classic move, really. And this is lap 10 of about, I think, it was about 18, and I am already starting to sweat. He gets the inside around the source. It's not really a great place to be because you want to be in the slipstream, and he recognises that, so he pulls in, tucks in. He knows that as soon as we get over this crest, he's going to have me with the slipstream. But here's the thing, you stay right. You stay as right as you can. Don't let him take the inside. He's going to come to the outside. In fact, the other guy's got a double slipstream, so he's come alongside. And look, stay on the outside of this one. Stay on the outside, get the inside. It's just so easy to defend. Still racing on the inside here. I think he's got himself into a really good position. That's the way to do it. If you want to get yourself in front around that corner, you stay on the outside, hang it out, and then you got the inside. And then I make him think about Radion, which is a difficult corner at the best of times. I put myself down the inside a little bit as a sort of cheeky hello, and that makes him have a bit of a think. Now the other guy, yeah, he's trying to come through. Again, good respectful racing, I think. It was very tense in the car. I was very, very nervous. And then I think he taps me on the rear there, and I think I go on the radio to say, calm it down. Yeah, last thing we want is for everybody to be taken out. Come on, let's calm it down, guys. Calm it down. There you go. That was. Yeah, dude. So he gets red car gets a bit of a lockup, slows him down a little bit, which is good for me. Gets me closer to a slipstream, but you can see I'm still. Yeah, you got your eyes in front, you got your eyes behind all the time. It's that close. So he's thinking about the inside. He doesn't do it. Again, the sensible person knows that that's not really where you want to do the overtake. You want to do it down at the bottom of the Kemmel Straight. So he's kept it behind. You see the field spread. I mean, the other guys are gone. They're nowhere. So here we go. We're in the slipstream. Oh, he takes the inside, and I've got somebody on the outside, so I'm in the middle. It's 3 wide. He backs out. And again, I get the inside. So that was good. Back in front. Yeah. He gets a little bit of a lockup coming out there. Right. So let's move it on a bit forward. Let's go until we get to the interesting bits. I mean, to be honest, these next few laps are pretty much the same. This is what happens the next few laps. You know, we're side by side, lots of craziness going on. I think he's in front here. Just trying to tuck in, just try and stay with him. You know, it's it all happens down the Kemmel Straight, and it all happens into the bus stop. Yeah, I don't really like Spa, I have to admit. It's a very fast circuit. It was just there are better. I mean, Road Atlanta last week, that was such a great circuit in these cars. Every corner was a blowing crest of some degree. It's just brilliant. Now look at this. So we all get a good run. he does the right thing. He's on the inside. I'm on the outside. It's just gonna be who breaks late, who breaks latest. You know, and he breaks quite late. So yeah, look at that. He does an absolutely exceptional job. Absolutely exceptional. So let's forward it on a bit until we see the next thing. He'll be down into the bus stop, I dare say. Right, here we go. So what lap are we on now? So here we go, we're alongside. I know I can brake quite late. We stay as close as we can, but no, he gets a bit of a squirt on the throttle and he stays in front, so that was really good defending there. Absolutely fantastic. That was a replay glitch, don't worry about that. Again, all about the exit here. He goes a little bit wide there. He goes a little bit wide, doesn't get enough speed, so it brings me right back in, and that's probably inevitably going to happen anyway, so it's not really that big a deal. But here we go. Onto the Kemmel Straight. And again, the guy in the red car, he's already got his slipstream. He's pulled out. I think he's pulled out a bit too early. But 3 wide, and there we go. I brake just late enough to get in front, and then we're back out in front again. So keeping an eye on behind. I think these two have a little miniature squabble, but not enough to break slipstream. But which is unfortunate. That's kind of what you're hoping for. Hoping for them to bugger off. Bus stop again. Yeah. And again, you see, it's a familiar scene. Let's just get to the end of the Kemmel. Absolutely familiar scene. You see, he's actually in front now. He's actually in front, and all it is about just braking a little bit less, a little bit later. It wasn't the optimal line. You can see I got really deep into the corner. Doesn't matter. I'm in front. I've got the lead, and that's the important thing. Now you'll notice one thing. We've dropped a car, so if we just pause it there, let's go back. Stephen, that's his name. There we go. So this, so there you go. You can almost see what happened there. So what happened with this guy was, you'll see on his view, he's already spinning, and that's it. These cars are so delicate on the brakes, and they're so delicate with grip. You absolutely go spinning. You can also see the dirt on his visor. Now, he probably has taken the visor strip off, so he probably isn't seeing that, but that is the sort of build-up that you get. You see on mine, it's crystal clear. I don't know if that's actually because it records when I take them off or not, but that's kind of the difference. It's a cosmetic thing, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool we do that. Right, let's put it on TV mixed. So it's down to 2. So it's just me versus this guy, and I'm in 3rd. This is the craziness. I'm in 3rd. I started 15th. I'm in 3rd. So I really don't want this guy to overtake. This is the podium, but unfortunately, I'm in front, which means he's getting the slipstream every single lap, and every single lap, this is what happens. He gets alongside, and I have to be brave on the brakes. I mean, you just saw what happened to the other guy. So, yeah, crazy. Here we go. Here's another lap. I mean, it's lap 15, so it might not sound like much, but I mean, it's a 40-minute race. It's knackering. Absolutely knackering. So let's just keep going. It's more of the same, really. You can see we get sort of close alongside each other at various points. At this. There's Harry chatting on the radio really quick. Yeah, all the same. You can see it's the same lap after lap. Oh, and there we go. So I'm now on my own. So what's happened? You don't see it from that camera, but if we go to rear chase, so this is basically what gave me the overall race result I wanted. There you go. Same happened to him. That was a pretty big off. That was pretty big off. He absolutely wrecked his car. I think he kept going, threading the needle. Hi, Tom. Sorry, I didn't notice. And yeah, so this is pretty much it to the end now. So I managed to get third. It was a great result. Earned it from all the way back in 15th, and that was the second split. So there was no way I would have got that result in top split. There about 2-3 seconds a lap quicker, and nobody can understand how. They're just insane. So there we go. That was the end of the race. Let's load the other replay. Let's go. Let's go over to my other race that we had, which was in the IMSA. IMSA is an amazing race series. It's multi-class. So quick explanation for anybody who's not au fait with that. If you know of Le Mans, Le Mans is a 24-hour race. This is not 24-hour. Don't worry about that. But Le Mans is a multi-class race. So you have Le Mans prototype cars, LMP, and they're classified as 1 and 2. So same like F1 and F2. So one's the fastest nutty cars on the planet, and 2 are pretty damn quick. In this one we have LMP2s, and then what we have is the GT cars, and they're classified as GTE and GT3. Difference: GTEs are like the endurance versions, and they're faster. They've got more aero. They've got no ABS, which is important. They've got no ABS, so you have to really be good on what you're doing with the pedal inputs. Again, going back to my boots, thin soles, thin sturdy soles, good feel on the pedal, essential. Buying boots to do your inside home hobby, probably not so essential, but I still bought them. It's fine. Yeah, so the GT3 cars are like the GT counterparts, but they're slower. They're not as aerodynamic as the others, so they're a bit slower. About maybe second and a half, 2 seconds slower, depending on the circuit. The LMP2 cars, they're like 2-3 laps quicker. So we're just loading the replay at the moment. Look at that! Look at that! It comes up on my stream. I got the chat window kind of working. Tom, I don't know what happens, but my stream drops. All right, work message. I always enjoy coming from behind. Wow, only with you, Tom. Yes, my stream drops frames whenever I'm like away from the window, so I think it's like a CPU priority. I think I just need to up the CPU priority on it. I did actually bump it to up 1 notch to see if it would solve it. Maybe I need to go 2. I need to go full retard. Okay, so it's nearly loaded. Here we go. Here we are. So let's get to the start of the race. Okay. So let's just rewind it a little bit, because this is when it goes green. So it's good to rewind so we can actually see what's going on. Right. I won't make you watch the whole of the warm-up lap. Don't you worry. But all three classes line up on the grid: LMPs, GTEs, and then the GT3s. And anybody who didn't qualify. So you do get some races where there's some LMP2s in the back and GTEs in the GT3 group. But what's going to happen is they're all going to pull away, and they're all going to go at their own pace. Now the LMP cars have already gone. They've already gone, and they're building a little bit of a. Let's turn this. Turn the comms off. So you can see there's a massive gap to cars in front of us, and you can't see any cars behind. Most of that's because iRacing will only show so many cars on track at once. But this is giving us the idea. I need my ASMR racing music. You'll get some. Don't worry. Stroke your ears. So we're just doing a warm-up lap, but the LMPs get the racing, the sort of start-finish straight. They get the start-finish straight, and when they're on that, safety car pulls in, green flag goes, and they go. When the green flag goes for them, it goes for us. But what we've done is we've built a bit of a gap, because if they bin it and there's a massive accident, we're going to come steaming up behind them, and we're going to end up clattering into them. And I've been in a few races when that's almost happened, and it's not fun. It's not fun at all. So this is me in the really funky looking BMW. I am, as you can see, right second last in this split, or no, third last. And then I think we're going to get going just in a corner's time. Probably already. Let's just. Yeah, we're going now. So this is the start of the race. We're not even at the start finish line yet. You know, incidents can happen right from the start. And what I try and do in this race, it's quite sedate. We'll probably fast forward through quite a lot of it. Is I'm trying to just have a nice clean race. It's a 45-minute race with a pit stop, and a lot can happen. And a lot can happen because at some point, and this is what makes IMSA so exciting. At some point, the LMP cars are going to come from behind because they've gone all the way around and they're going to allow us. The guys nearly having a complete off on the back there, and they're going to come and lap you. So they're really quick, and you need to make sure you're out of the way. You know, there's a bit of tyre smoke. Somebody's maybe gone off. No. And whilst you're having your race, you're having to let these fast cars through, and then at some point you're going to lap the GT3 cars, which means that not only are you having your race, and you can see it's quite close racing, not only are we having our race, but we're being overtaken, and we're also overtaking, and it gets completely messy around the middle of this race. So if I don't know which camera view's best for this circuit. Let's just put on camera 1, see what happens. There's no TV mixed on this circuit, I don't know why. But yeah, I get overtaken by this guy. This guy is quite critical later on because he makes a mistake that screws everybody up. But that's not for a while yet. But as you can see, I am literally behind this guy. There's a guy in a Porsche, I think, behind me. I know it's in fast forward. It's a bit wacky races. But it's like this for quite a few laps. So I'm literally just trying to keep up with these guys because, as you can see, they are really racing each other, and I catch right up with that Corvette. Maybe let's put it on times 2. It's a bit easy to see. Yeah, what else can I say? I mean, it is crazy because you're just trying to pick your opportunity in this race. You're not trying to get racy. You're not trying to be aggressive. You're just trying to get by when somebody else has an accident. That's my plan. You know, I'm quite low in the split. I have a bit of a lock up there. Like I said, no ABS. Yeah, you're just trying to hang on. quite low seed, so I'm not going to, I'm not expected to do well. But it's still, I'm still quite close with them, which is good. That's like the first positive thing. Again, it's quite a few laps and nothing, except there. Of course, I skip right past it. Right, so what happens here, you can see these two cars right in front of me. The Corvette's going to go well wide, and I'm just going to get in front of him. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Pick up a place through somebody else's mistake. Don't try and put your nose in where it's not needed. Just let everybody else have the accident. And yeah, we carry on. I get a run on this guy. I get around him at the bus stop. That's fine. That was an overtake. Should probably slowed down. Right, so I do a bit of catching up here to the guys in front. Now I've got 3 cars behind me, of course. Slow it down a little bit. Yeah, it's going to get interesting. A few. I was going to say it looked like it was an incident. Just gonna keep going. Wacky races. Okay. See, it's hard to make an impression. Everybody's quite the same sort of lap time. So you can see there's still quite a massive gap between me and the cars in front. Corvette has a bit of a wide there. But you can see I'm following that gaggle in front there, and they're having a race. Because they're having a race, they're going to start slowing down. It's a long race, 45-minute race, and you're not going to change your tyres. You want to keep your tyres in, so the best thing you can do is stay out of trouble. Stay out of trouble, keep your tyres in. It'll pay dividends at the end of the race. So this is kind of what my tactic is. It's just do my own thing, keep my laps good, keep my lap time good. I mean, it's not brilliant. That was a 1:45. I mean, I think 1:44s is pretty slow. But yeah, we're just trying to keep in contact is the thing, which I'm not doing really because they're miles away, and the Corvette's sort of barely keeping contact with me. But they're bunching up. They're starting to bunch up. Now here we go. Right, so this is what I'm talking about. This is what you need to start looking for. Okay, look at what's coming up behind me. There's one and there's another, and you'll see just how quick they get by. Onto the main straight, around it goes. And these guys into the braking zones are insane. They are so quick. And what you're hoping for is that these LMP cars start mixing the order up, start putting everybody off. And what you want to be doing is, like here, you want to be letting them by at a point where it doesn't disadvantage you and get a bit of slipstream, get a bit of lap time out of it, and carry on. What you don't want is to be caught in a twisty section, especially if you're the LMP car. Look at these guys. They're all bunching up trying to overtake each other now because the LMP cars are now in the mix, and you can just see in the distance he was going around the outside of them. And here we go. Here's another one. He has to decide, because he's gonna catch right up to me. Does he go on the inside? Does he go on the outside? What you need to do as a car being lapped, as stated in the rules, is you need to just maintain your racing line and just do what is, what you would normally do. Be predictable, basically. And that's great until until somebody comes up behind you in an LMP car and you're racing, you're trying to overtake at the same time. So you're already too wide, and this guy thinks, oh yeah, I'm going to go for it. But see, look at the top of the screen. You can see the LMP cars trying to get around the outside. Everybody's fighting. This is what I'm hoping for. You can see visibly I'm catching up. You can see it's bringing me back in play. And there's 3 more cars behind to contend with. Let's go a bit on board actually. Let's just if we go on the cockpit view, you don't get a rear camera view, but normally what I'd have is along the top I'd have like a virtual rear view mirror, just as part of the game. You can use like this little dashboard here, and you can use your wing mirrors, but they drop frames, so yeah, I'll just use the virtual one. There you go, look, bam, down the inside. That's not really what he should have done. He should have waited, or should have gone on the outside, but I noticed him, so I gave him enough room But you really have to be like, you know, you're trying to, well, there you go, there's one on the outside. You know, this is how crazy it gets. You know, you're just trying to do your race, to try and be on the racing line, and inside, outside, they swarm you. They absolutely swarm you. See how much distance he's pulled on me already on one corner. And he's already trying to go around the inside of that other guy. There you go, there's another on the outside. Eyes are on stalks. It only takes one bad LMP guy to dive down the inside like that guy. I knew he was coming. And then look, he nearly has his own accident. So you know, it's ridiculous. He's in his own race. He's trying to keep up the guys in front. He doesn't want to lose contact, so he's trying to get through this traffic as quick as possible. You can see the there you go. There's another dive down the inside, but you've got to be aware of it. They're going to do it. So what the LMP cars tend to do is if they're going to go for the dive, what they should do is they should flash. And if they flash, it means, yeah, I'm going to come through. And if you're aware of it, it's fine. You stay left, you brake a bit early, let them through, and tuck in behind. And it doesn't really disadvantage you very much. Look at that. It's just like car after car after car. And then you'll have a quiet period because, you know, that pack is past you. You'll get to settle back in. But as you can see, I'm not really making much of an impression on the cars in front yet. I'm just racing my own race. My lap time, that was a 1:46. It's a terrible lap time, really. And there's another car. Look at that. It is incredible. So let's just go a bit further forward, because I think that's the last of them. But you can see visibly, you know, oh, there's another one. You see visibly, it's shaking the pack up. I'm getting a bit closer. There's another one. Yeah. Eyes on stalks the whole time because you can see them coming. You can see them coming, and you know, you're desperately trying to keep up with these guys. Desperately. I was 1:45, so you know, it was a whole second taken out of my lap with these LMP cars coming by, and I managed to pick up the speed straight away. Right, we're in fast forward mode, but I'm starting to get to the back of this pack. You know, my perseverance has paid off. 1:44.8. That's the kind of lap times you need to be doing. I'm now picking up slipstream, I think, from here. So I'm being pulled towards them, like the radical race. You know, I'm getting into the slipstream. A pocket of sort of low pressure gives you a bit more speed down the straights. Okay, so here we go. This is such a lazy left-hander. And it feels a lot. I tell you what, when you watch it back in the replay, it looks a lot slower than it actually is when you're driving it. And I don't know if that maybe is because the replay is a little bit slower. It's normal speed. Yeah, it is normal speed. So, catching right back up. So now I'm actually in play. This is good. This is what I wanted to be. I wanted to be right behind them. Wait for them to make a mistake. You can already see there's a Ferrari and a BMW here. They might be squabbling. Who knows? They're quite close to each other. We're doing 260 kilometers now, and now you can see I'm getting right towards the top of the rev limiter, and that means I'm getting the slipstream. It feels so much faster when I'm actually driving. I think. Down. Here's a Lambo. Ever recall a Lambo being a GTE car? You might not have thought about it, but that's actually a GT3 car. So here's us doing what the LMP cars were doing to us just a second ago on some other cars, and you'll see when I pick up the throttle here just the difference. I'm able to overtake a Lamborghini Huracan. I mean, how many times, can you say that? That's how much acceleration these GTE cars have got. It's a lot more than the GT3s. And the GT3s are fast. They're not slow. So, doing 100 kilometers around this corner at the apex. It's good apex speed. This one's a bit of a lift. You just sort of stay in fourth, lift 190 kilometers around that corner. Can you imagine doing that in a road car? Maybe you can, Tom. I don't know. So building up 230, 240 down the main straight, braking. Bearing in mind our radicals, they looked fast, but the radicals were doing 230 down the main straight. You know, these are faster. They don't look faster. I mean, they are technically slower because they're slow and sluggish in the corners, but doing 250 now. And all this time, you're just hoping that they're going to make a mistake. Lovely late brake into the bus stop, really deep. And then here we go. So we going round. What we're looking for is basically when it starts to get really hairy, when we get the LMPs around us again, and we've also got GT3s to contend with. So we'll just fast forward it a little bit, try and pause at any given moment. So the three cars are now fighting in front. I don't know if you may be able to see that yet. Now that's interesting actually. Let's just rewind. So we're actually getting towards the end of the race now, and I'm now catching these guys. Now I've got to make a decision. I've got to pit at some point, and it's probably a little bit early to pit. But you can see these guys are really squabbling, and I've caught them back up. And I'm thinking, okay, if they keep doing this for a couple of laps, I'm going to end up being able to make a few places in the pits. So I take the decision right here that they might slow me down, so I'm going to pull into the pit, get my pit stop done. So you see I drop it down to third and stay in, and then brake for the really hard, no ABS as I said, and I take my pit stop. The guy behind me in the Corvette, there's no clipping in the pit lane, so he just drives through my car. We both pit at the same time. I think he has the same sort of idea. So just sort of fast forward it to see where we're at. I think this is a GT3 car. Yeah, we're catching him at a rate of knots. Yeah, so this is BMW M4, I think it is. Looks like it. So see the differences between us and the GT3 car. Also, he doesn't get a very good line, but as soon as I pick up the throttle, yeah, GT4, M4 GT3, sorry. That's the difference. It's not much. It's a subtle difference, but it's a difference. You know, it's enough to get you alongside and around, even on a short, tight circuit like this. So moving on forward. So you can see lots of clear track. This is great for me. And again, here comes the LMP cars. There's the guy, you know, diving down the inside. Unfortunately, that slowed me down, and you can see I now have one of those familiar cars in front of me again, and that's one of the guys I was racing. And I think a GT3 car. So this car here is GT3. We got all three classes on the straight. There's the LMP. I'm about to overtake a GT3. This is where it gets interesting. You know, you got to be looking in front. You got to be looking behind. I'm racing that BMW that's three cars in front of us, and I've got to get past this guy, and all the time I've got to make sure the guys behind me can get by. You know, it's crazy. So here I think I give him a flash to say I'm coming through. Keep it nice and tucked in, sacrifice a bit of speed, just keep it safe. And I haven't lost out too much. The guy in front has been compromised by LMP. There's another LMP. See, I in front, I behind. So here we are. We're lapping. We're being lapped. We're trying to make our race work. Just try not to lose any time. That's the important thing. Just try not to lose any time. And if that means just braking a little bit early but a little bit lighter, so the LMP gets in front of you in the braking, but then you can keep the right apex speed, so be it. You know, you'll lose a tenth or two maybe. So I think our friend the BMW is actually catching up to a GT3 car. So again, he's being lapped and lapping, and he doesn't lose much time, unfortunately for us. And there's our other friend. And look how close they come out. It's side by side. They are side by side coming out of the pits. And look, squeezing up the inside. An LMP car. And he really cheesed me off on that one because I was clearly on the inside. He should have gone to the outside. And here we are. So we've got the GT3 car to contend with. And I bent it down the inside here. Just let him know I'm coming through. Now, things are going to get tasty. We're actually near the end of the race now. We're actually about 10 maybe 15 minutes away. Of a 45-minute race, so it does take quite a lot out of you. Let's just move it on a little bit. These guys are fighting, which is good. Look at that, lovely side-by-side racing. It's nice to see, actually. Very safe. And let's just go to TV3. Let's do a bit of TV cameras. So that guy's gone a bit wide in the bus stop and I've got to run on him, so I get by him, so that was good. Again, there you go. Wait for other people's mistakes. Wait for other people's mistakes, capitalise on them, and then defend your position in a fair manner. You know, so he's desperately wanted to come back, but I keep my car wide. You know, I don't immediately go over to the left. I don't immediately go over to the right. Keep my apex speeds up. Make sure I get good exits. See, I'm in the middle of a track. That's to make him think, okay, I'm not going to go down in the inside there. Now, remember that these guys were really, faster than me. They were faster by a long shot at the start of the race. And here I am actually sort of willing them on a bit, and that's because I kept my tyres in. You know, I've got that little bit more grip at the end of the race, and that's always been my mistake in the past, so I've always tried to correct that. That first corner is quite funny. You can go ridiculously wide, not getting off track. It's almost part of the race circuit, but you will. If you go too wide, you'll severely compromise your exit, and then it's flat out. So you always want to be tight turn one, and then hard on the gas and go. And yeah, if you go a little bit wide because you're on the gas, that's fine. But the worst bit is if you have to then come off the throttle. Oh, my mate's got his IMB racewear gloves. Bit tad big on my little finger, no different. Cool. Now a little bit wide there, a little bit wide. And you see now it's getting busy again. The LMP cars are already on our backs. That's some of it's as a consequence of pit stops. You know, they can pass you, take a pit, and then they have to pass you again. So you feel like you're being lapped loads, but that's not actually really the case. So this guy really dives at the last second. I recognise it. I make sure I still meet the apex because as you can see, now it's a 3-car train. And that's not a nice place to be. So I think at this particular one I took on the inside. This is good defence, so I stay right as much as I can. Dissuade them, they get to the outside, and then brake late. That's nose to tail race. That's great. That's great. It was really good fun, that one. Now I'm in front of these guys. My overall position's 18th, but that's about, I think, 8th in GTE. And I started about 12th. And again, you see that's that green car again coming by. Let's just fast forward a little bit. We'll get to the interesting bits now, because it all happens quite near the end. It's quite frustrating. I'm thinking, yeah, this race is going all right. It's going all right. I'm happy with how I'm doing. Just overtaking Porsche. That's great. It's giving the other guys something to think about. Look, again, we're lapping. We're being lapped all in the same corner. It's insane. But I think this is where this guy in the LMP decides to dive. And there you go. So he hits me. I go straight on. I'm okay. I'm back on. But I have a slowdown. And it's only about a second and a half slowdown. So what I do is I just back off the throttle a little bit around this corner. Keep the guy on the outside. He gets a bit annoyed with me and flashes. But it was firm and fair, you know. I had to slow down. I took the penalty and I kept my position. So we're now chasing this guy, this BMW. That was the guy who overtook me near the start. That's the guy I said to keep an eye on, because what's going to happen next is, and that's like the first problem that happened. Not that the other thing was a problem, but we'll see just in a second what happens. It causes a bit of craziness. Again, you can see all these LMP2 cars streaming through. I know it's on fast forward, but you get the gist. I think it's this lap. I don't know if it's this lap. We'll fast forward if it is. But... So, LMP2 cars come around the coming round. Yeah, is it this one? Possibly not. Maybe. Oh, yeah, there we go. Right, okay. It is this one. So, just slowing it down a little bit. So what's happened here, and what we need to do, we need to go on board with, I think it's that guy. Yeah. We need to get a view on this guy. So he's drifting wide, he gets on the power too early, hits the grass, he slams into the barrier. And then what happens next will truly shock you. He basically takes out the other two cars. Look at that. Look at that. He takes out the other two cars. Out of a fit of rage, I think, or just idiocy. So we're on his outside. He's crashed. He should just be like, okay, calm it down. On the inside, very last second, the other guy's coming round. To be honest, looking at that again, I actually think the problem is he knows I'm there, but it's this guy. And in fact, that guy is the guy who spun me off. But he got spun off himself. But there you go, there's me in front. We managed to get going again. I think I lose like a place maybe. No, that's a GT3, so I don't lose any places really, other than the guy who bit me off. Now, what's going to happen is we're going to go on board with him, and you can see, I think that's the guy. No, that's the GT3. Let's go a bit further forward. Yeah, here you go, here's our friend. Yeah, you see short shifting, he's pretty damaged. He's probably big, yeah, he's crabbing. There you go, his suspension's knackered. He's broke his suspension. Why try and dive into a corner? I don't know. And then he goes into the pits, and that's his race done. So I managed to get the place back. And I think if we were to go TV view, I think it just calms down from here. Yeah, it calms down from there. So I end up finishing in about 8th place, which, you know, I gained 4 places. It's a good race. It's a good race, but it could have been. I don't think it would have been much better actually. I don't think we were anywhere near anybody else, but you know, it could have been so much better from a safety point of view. It's already a crazy race, as you can see. LMP cars all over the place. You know, let's watch it again. LMP cars all over the place. You can hear the crash. I'm on his outside. And this other guy tries to sneak in, and I just don't know what he was doing. This guy who also skids off of me. You know, had it not been for that, I don't know if I would have actually caught anybody or not. I don't think so. But it's still frustrating. You get measured on your safety, so any incidents that you have, any off tracks, any car collisions, you get Yeah, you get points and stuff. And there he is, he's flashing. I don't know why. He's just such an angry person, really. But all in all, this week's been quite good. I've gained a lot of iRacing. Safety rating's been stable, I'd say. Stable is probably the word for it. It's been good. It's been a fun week. I've got the Renaults to do. I've been losing my head in Renaults. I don't think I've actually finished a race. It's open wheeler, 3.5 litre engines. They're very fast. They're like Formula 1 cars. More like F2 maybe speeds. Incredible cars, and I just keep clipping curbs and killing my own race. The race is actually at Watkins Glen, so this same circuit, except it doesn't have the bus stop. So the little thing we're coming up to now. So the Renault race, we could just go straight on here instead of going around that little curve, and then it will go into there. And other than that, it's the same circuit. Not my favourite circuit, but you can have a lot of fun at it, as you can see. So there we have it. So I think I'll leave it there. Yes, exactly, Tom. What happens next will truly shock you. Oh dear. There we go. Well, I hope you enjoyed. I can see that I've actually had 3 viewers at my peak. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. So my mate's just got his new gloves. I was saying at the start of this stream actually that he got some gloves from IMB that were a bit too big, custom made ones. He's just had his new ones delivered. A little bit too big on the little finger, he says. But yeah, he seems happy. There we go. Awesome. Well, have a good weekend, guys. If I have a really good race in the Renaults, I'll save the replay and I'll do another one of these streams and we can go through that race as well. It's so much easier to talk to you guys whilst watching the replay rather than actually driving and talking. It's so difficult. Just wasn't working for me. But there we go. That's an hour and 20. Wow, look at that. And viewers. Boom. Hello. Right, this is me saying bye. Peace out. Have a little view on. Enjoy the sunshine. Get some vitamin D. Stay safe.